It's great to see you all. I've seen some people I haven't seen in, what do we say, 30 years, Peggy? And we knew each other immediately. This was great. Just a show of hands, how many of you have never been to the Heritage Center? Oh, right. Well, we would like to welcome you. We've been open a little over 2 years, and we were very lucky to have the person that owns this building to let us use this space for a couple of years. So we are just thrilled to be here. And how many of you worked on the Women's History Project from the very beginning, Diana? Okay, back in the 1980s, we started the Maryland Women's History Project, the same year that Molly McGregor, who we're hoping is going to make it here today, out in California, started the National Women's History Project, and we've been working together all of that time. I want to mention a few things about the center, and then we will move on to a special treat. When the first year the center was open, we did an exhibit on Maryland women and civil rights. This last year and a half, we've had Maryland women in math, science, technology, and engineering. And Josie, where are you? Oh, okay. Josie is our graphic artist who did all of these from the educators' materials that we gave her. This was her work, so we want to thank you. And she does have some business cards up at the front. She's just terrific. We wanted to do both notable Maryland women, and for the first time, there is a permanent home for the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame, and you can see it in the back with the posters. We have 60 women up there. We have 60 more women to do, but you're going to meet a lot of them today. You're going to meet Harriet Tubman, who's back there. You're going to meet You're going to meet Rachel Carson sometime today. You are going to meet Sister Elizabeth Seton sometime today. And you will also meet Henrietta Zold. So every place that we stop, you'll be getting some more materials for your folders, and also getting to meet some of these women that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other area, and hopefully you'll have some time to look through that, with the Women in Math and Science, Women of Goddard, did these beautiful posters for us. That are those 6 posters, and they provided a set of those for every school in the state this year, and it was at their expense, which was terrific. We had 2 women who were real interested in women in the military, and Rosie the Riveter. And where is Linda Lindsay?
Right there.
Okay. And she was one that, when you look to see what was developed for the women in World War II, and Rosie the River, she did a great job on that. We also wanted to recognize those people we consider unsung heroines that are not going to be in a history book, but someone that you think has made a difference in your family, in your community, and there are forms back on the table that you can take one and send it to us, and we're really delighted that we can not just recognize the Hall of Fame women, but the women that have made a difference every day in our lives. We also have a suffrage exhibit and a children's corner that when children and young people come, and they are very involved in activities. Tom Saunders from Renaissance Productions and Reba Bullock will be saying something at the end and talking about the tour. Now I would like to turn this over to Diana Bailey, who's our managing director and has been doing a phenomenal job.
Good morning again. I'm getting signals from the back from our cultural ambassador that says, put it right here. So again, I want to welcome you to the center. I noticed, surprisingly, that so many hands went up. So that tells me I'm lonely, and I need you to call me and set up a tour, a group. We have senior citizens that come. We have special events with Girl Scouts. We have folks from the Space Business Roundtable. So talk to me today on the bus if you like. I'll give you my card. But we'd love, now the weather's getting better finally, that we'd love to have you in a group here. Mostly we're trying to do outreach for the center, but we also partner with an organization, which could potentially be the Howard County Women's Giving Circle, to have board meetings here. Women's Bar Association has been here as well. So I wanted to put a pitch for that. Also, at the end of today, I'll be here until about 5 minutes of 4, until my card turns into a pumpkin. And then, so again, if you, after the tour today, because we'll be here putting things back, you're welcome to stay at the end of the day, or we can talk about possibilities as well. Okay? And now, we're ready for our special guest. And Kate Campbell Stevenson has been she's been overworked this month now. We're hoping that March is March, but we're hoping that we now know that every month is Women's History Month, so we want to keep Kate busy in other months besides that. I'd like to welcome her. She's our cultural ambassador with the Maryland Women's Heritage Center, and she's here today for us. Kate?
Your life is a story, it's written each day by the choices you make in school, work or play, by the people you meet, or the things that you say, by the fears that you face until they go away. Your life is a story, it's scripted by you, by the new things you learn, by the things that you do. You can reach for the stars, you can help others too. You can learn from the past, so our futures come true. His story, her story, some stories sing of glories, other stories sing of love and pain. My story, your story, we write our own stories of new frontiers or dreams we can attain. You can skate for the glory of winning the gold. You can study the brain to help young and old. You can fly into space or create something bold. Or do quiet good deeds that will never be told. Some women before me whose stories I know have taught me some lessons which have helped me to grow. I'd like you to meet just a few of these friends. I am scripting a story. Who knows how it ends? History, her story, some stories sing of glories, other stories sing of love and pain. My story, your story, we write our own stories of new frontiers or dreams we can attain. So reach for the stars, let yourself shine. I know you can do it one step at a time. Dig deep down inside, polish the glow. Your story's within you. Now let it grow. Thank you and good morning. And welcome to the Maryland Women's Heritage Center. I am so pleased and proud to be serving as the center's cultural ambassador throughout the state. 2014's theme this year is Women of Courage, Character, and Commitment. This whole museum and center is filled with women of courage, character, and commitment. And I'm so pleased to be sharing this museum and center with you today. I also want to express a special congratulations to Carmen. She's had an amazing month of recognition, which she so well deserves. And I see many of my role models out here today, and I'm thrilled that you're all here. Right now, I bring to life women of courage, women who had curiosity to find out, hey, what's around the next corner, and the determination to hang in there when the going gets tough. Let's go back in time now, long before computers, and back to the year 1963. The place, Silver Spring, Maryland, where I'm from. There we will find a 56-year-old marine biologist by the name of Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson has written 3 books about the sea, and in those books she brings to life a world which up until that time was only known in scientific terms. And now, through these books, she brings to life that world with her beautiful prose to everyday people like you and me. She also wrote a book called Silent Spring. And in that book, she sounds the alarm about environmental pollution. She targeted 11 chemicals that were severely harming our environment, like chlordane and DDT. Rachel Carson is a reserved woman. She doesn't seek out publicity for herself, but she knows how important it is to get the message out about the damaging effects of these chemicals and to protect our environment. The chemical companies were not too thrilled about this. They spent over $250,000, which back then was a lot of money, to defame her reputation as a scientist. Oh, what does she know? She's just a woman scientist. Well, Rachel Carson knew a lot. Her impeccable scientific method could not be disproved. She had worked with the top experts in these fields. President Kennedy got wind of this new problem of environmental pollution and formed the President's Scientific Advisory Committee to look into the problem. And in 1963, Rachel Carson is asked to come and testify in front of Congress to defend her work. The entire time Rachel wrote Silent Spring, it took her 5 years, and she was fighting a fight she knew she would not win. Rachel Carson was dying of cancer. This next scene takes place in her home as she's preparing to testify. She's putting on her wig because she's lost most of her hair to the cancer treatments. And she is calling out to the spirit of her mother, who had been so instrumental in her life, for her mother to be with her, to give her strength. Or it was her mother that taught her in the western part of Pennsylvania when she was growing up the incredible sense of wonder. Rachel is feeling very ill. The cancer is spread throughout her body, and she's trying to gather her strength. Everything you hear sung is Rachel Carson's thoughts, her feelings, her passion for protecting the environment. And everything you hear spoken is her actual testimony in front of Congress. The shell you gave me as a child sings a song of a faraway place I long to explore. The rush of the sea excites my mind. The smell, how enchanting to think of the magical world I'd find. For I am filled with a sense of wonder. Such a sense of wonder casts a spell in my heart. Such a sense of wonder. A sense of wonder you knew so well. Oh, Mother. In the woods we would walk together, watch the leaves falling, finding flowers wild. Don't touch them. Lichens at the base of the trees. Get down on my knees where I can smell the earth. A bird taking flight. Oh, there's red on its wings. Oh, its wings. And I am filled with a sense of wonder. Such a sense of wonder fills my heart. I am fulfilled with a sense of wonder, which you, dear Mother, brought into my heart. Oh, Mother, I miss you so much. Please be with me today. I need your strength.
June 4th, 1963. Senate testimony begins today on the controversial use of pesticides. Rachel Carson, award-winning author of Silent Spring, will testify before the President's Science Advisory Committee, headed by Senator Abe Ribicoff.
Mother, are you watching? Is this just a show? The tiny little creatures depend on us to know. Oh, I don't feel strong now. How can I go on? Who will make them think after I'm gone? Please, sum me up today. Listen to me. Listen to me. Let the forest keep its voice and make my weary heart rejoice.
Miss Carson, on behalf of the committee, we certainly welcome you here. You are the lady who started all this.
Thank you for the opportunity to address this committee.
Senators, the problem you have chosen to explore is one that must be solved in our time. I feel strongly that a beginning must be made on it now, in this session of Congress.
God, please make them listen. God, please make them care.
We must stop indiscriminate use of pesticides.
Make my words have power. Floating on the air.
These chemicals invisibly contaminate our world.
Oh, I don't feel strong now. How can I go on?
Unless we bring these chemicals under control, we are headed for disaster.
Who will make them think? After I'm gone,
An irrevocable loss of species.
do they have a conscience? Is this just a show? The tiny little creatures depend on us to know. Oh God, please make them listen. God, please make them care. Why do they attack me? There's critics everywhere. Let them care, make them care, all the people everywhere. Mother's legacy to me, that I appreciate a tree and every creature in the sea. Let them care, make them care, all the people everywhere. The only science that is deserving is that which helps us in preserving nature in its glory. Everywhere. In the power of my words, I've shared the magic mystery of teeming life in the sea beyond our view. Excitement share the creatures colorful and rare that make their homes down there beneath the sea. With the power of my words, I find expression for my soul beyond the limits of myself and my own world. This full creation that we find within ourselves is all connected with our whole planet. By the power of my words, I have to move the people's hearts. I need to open up their eyes and make them see. By the Carson was not a dynamic personality. She was not a dynamic celebrity, but she was very much a dynamic woman. And it is so important to understand those differences. Her lone voice in the world helped change the way the entire world looks at its responsibility for taking care of our earth and our water and the air that we breathe. Please join Rachel Carson in her quest for protecting our most precious environment. Rachel Carson ends my newest show, Forging Frontiers. Forging Frontiers, women leaders in science, technology, engineering, and math. And we have a great exhibit here. Many of the women around Maryland, and especially from the women of Goddard. So I encourage you to look at that, look at the exhibits. And I'm going to close right now with the ending song for my new show. And it talks about, I present a woman called Louise Arner Boyd, who is my relative, who led 7 Arctic expeditions. 7 Arctic expeditions in the 1920s and the 1930s. And no one's ever heard of her. So I encourage you to come to that program, which is a week from tonight, and learn about Louise Arner Boyd. But her closing song is really a metaphor for all of the frontiers that we can break through, whether it's cultural, whether it's frontiers of the mind, or frontiers of space or geographic. We all can make a difference if we use our courage, curiosity, and determination. How can we know all of the magic around us if we don't wonder what is just over the hill? How can I let the waters uncharted lie still there if we can sail there, all of our aims to fulfill? Shorelines of rock met glaciers that glistened in sunlight. We set our sails in weather both stormy and fair, testing the seasons, breaking our own limitations. We can forge the frontiers if we dare. People out there, don't be afraid of revealing that you burn with such feelings, or you might not belong. There are people out there unafraid to feel sorrow, unafraid of tomorrow, unafraid to be weak, unafraid to be strong. When I was young, I looked out the window for hours. Dreams were just that, the visions that floated on air. Now here I stand, no more content to imagine. We can forge the frontiers if we dare. We must forge the frontiers if we dare. Thank you very much. Never doubt that one person can make a difference. I'll turn it back over to you, Linda.
Just to say, all of Kate's performances are amazing. She does how many people altogether?
I have 12 women. I usually do 3 in a show, and so I can mix and
Right,
match.
we just wanted to make sure Rachel Carson was mentioned, but there's a brochure about Kate's programs, and she changes outfits.
Speaking of changing, I'm going to go right now and change so I can go on the trip.
So highly recommend her. Again, her tour, her information is in there. Reba's going to be our tour guide. Is there anything that you want to say in particular?
No, for the experience of time, I can hop on the bus and route our first stop.
Right.
Our first destination.
That's what I
But
thought
I'm
of
so
too.
happy with you.
I also want to thank Loretta Gubernatis, who has done many, many shows as a television producer for us, and she's recorded our whole history, and she'll be with us today, and she may at some time come up and ask you a question or something about what you think of the tour. So